Hey there, funnel builders. In this video, I'm going to talk about how I do long tail keyword research, as well as the tools that I use to help drive traffic to my website from Google for free. I used these when we were a marketing agency. I use them now. I try to use them on customers. And if you are looking to drive more traffic to your website, and if you're looking to increase conversions on your pages as well, I want to show you how I do long tail keyword research and how I've learned the hard way and the tools that I use to make it super simple. Hey there, funnel builders. Mike here from Sell Your Service. So if you are a funnel builder and you haven't checked out my marketing funnel proposal template, you can go ahead and download that for free. It's in the link in the description below, or head to sellyourservice.co.uk/proposal. But in the meantime, let's talk about long tail keyword research. Google, the search engine, you might have heard of it. We all understand how it works, but I think a lot of marketing funnel businesses and funnel agencies misunderstand how they can use Google to drive traffic to their website. The biggest problem is, of course, knowing what your customers are searching for. And I've got a bit of good news and a bit of bad news in that you can actually discover what your customers are searching for quite easily. The bad news is that it requires a little bit of testing and a little bit of experimentation to see what works. The reality is your customers probably aren't searching for marketing funnels. There are people out there who search for marketing funnels, but typically they're actually funnel builders like you. I know this from my research. Your customers are looking to solve their problems, and with long tail keyword research, what we can do is start targeting a smaller number of people who are after something very specific compared to trying to go after a really big market. I find long tail keyword research is another avenue to go down outside of local SEO. A lot of funnel builders who run like marketing agencies, they'll try to say, oh, we want to come up for marketing agency Denver, marketing agency Exeter, marketing agency London. And while local SEO absolutely has its place, I think if you have a well-defined niche, you can branch outside of that. If you understand the problems that you solve and the results that you achieve for your customers and who your customers are, you're going to need to work backwards slightly and start going after smaller markets but be more specific. So if you've got no idea what long tail keyword research means, it basically divides all searches across all search engines into two sections. What you have, the fat head and the long tail. An example of this would be a fat head search term might be something like running trainers, because it's so broad and so many people are searching for it. The volume is incredibly high. However, it actually doesn't result typically in a high number of conversions, because that's kind of a research stage term. If I'm looking for new equipment or new tools or something like that, I might just type in running shoes and it'll bring up a bunch of different products and reviews and websites. However, after I've done some research, if I'm looking for something specific, I might type in something like, Innovate 248 CrossFit trainers white. Because I'm more specific and I'm more focused around what I'm searching for, that's probably a pretty good indicator that I'm ready to buy because I'm looking for a specific product. In the same way that if I just type in sales training, which is ultimately what Sell Your Service delivers, there's a lot of different people looking for sales training, but how to sell a marketing funnel is a very specific form of sales training. And while fewer people are searching for it, the people who are searching for it are going to be really happy that I've got such a specific article or series of articles based around that one particular term. So as I mentioned, the biggest problem is actually knowing what your customers are searching for at all. And if you're starting from scratch, the easiest way I can think of is to use what we call a keyword tool to start generating some ideas. It's really important that you try to understand that you should be trying to target keywords that your customers are looking for, not keywords that you want to sell. For example, if I was trying to sell, this is like a product again from a trainer standpoint, if I said, well, I know that I want to sell a particular type of lightweight cross trainer, I'm, as a customer, might not necessarily know that I'm looking for a lightweight cross trainer. I might be looking for best gym shoe. So I've got to try and separate what I know as the seller from what the customer knows and what they're looking for. When you're looking at things like marketing, assuming you've got a niche, let's say that you work with authors who are looking to sell an online course, you need to look at the core question that you're answering. That's why I talk about the concept of the core niche, the core function, and the core question, because that core question is going to pretty much direct where you're going to go with your long tail keyword research. If you've only got one core question, that's great, because it means you can build a load of content around that one specific section of how to sell an online course. So this is the tool that I use. It's called Longtail Pro. I absolutely love it. This is how I do all of my keyword research. Full disclosure, there is a link to it down in the description below. It is an affiliate link, but I absolutely love Longtail Pro. So I'm going to show you how I do long-tail keyword research to identify profitable keywords that I could go after with content, not just for me, but for my customers as well, or for your customers. But I'm also going to show you some live examples of keywords that I've tried to go after and how Longtail Pro helps me rank for them. It's really important that we understand that when we're starting off, we're in a research phase, and it can be a bit overwhelming, but I promise you, you're going to find out some really simple ideas on what to be able to rank for. The most important thing to go after is understanding the type of niche that you want to explore. For example, if you help authors sell an online course, then what you're going to be looking for with that core question is, how do I sell an online course? And then keywords research tools like Longtail Pro are going to start giving you long tail keywords that people are searching for, admittedly lower traffic, but it means that you're going to have a better chance of ranking for them. And because they're long tail, because they're so specific, they probably have a higher conversion rate as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a new project. I'm going to say selling online courses, and the first thing it's done here is give me a rough idea of the competitiveness of the keyword. What this means is that of all the keywords available, some are more competitive than others, and every tool has its own ranking system. But Longtail Pro says that I, from a brand new scratch, starting from the bottom website, would probably be able to rank for keywords with a difficulty between 25 and 30. Now, competitiveness is, first of all, it's very subjective based on what the tools, like little like formulas and algorithms they use. However, it's a pretty good indicator to suggest that right now, because of where we are, we're not going to be able to rank for particularly difficult keywords, so chances are the traffic's going to be lower. But that's fine. The next thing I'm going to do with Longtail Pro is I'm going to put in my website, and what this is going to do is measure how authoritative my site is compared to the keywords and the niche that I'm going after. So hopefully we'll see this number jump up when I add in my website. Cool, and it has done a little bit. It says we can now rank for slightly more difficult keywords, anything between 35 and 42, because I've got a certain number of referring domains, I've got a certain amount of trust coming back to the website, and this is where we start with a really broad research. So in the seed keywords, which is basically like the broadest fathead style of the keyword you want to go after. Remember we talked about the difference between, running shoes and innovate, 248 specific blah 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 men's size 10 white running trainers. Like, the more specific they are, this is the fathead style. So this is the seed keywords. If I was doing this for my business, I'd type in marketing funnels or how to sell or selling. For you guys, for this particular example, we're selling online courses, so I'm going to put in online courses, online sell an online course, selling online courses, launch an online course, and build an online course. So these are really big, broad keywords. If you know what your core question is, remember I talk about the core niche, core function, core question. If you know what your core question is, that's going to make it much easier. For me, the core question for my business is, how do I sell a $25,000 marketing funnel, or how do I sell a marketing funnel for 25 grand? We're putting really big, broad seed keywords in here, and I'm going to click retrieve. I'm going to leave this as the number of suggestions because we're going to have plenty. And what I'm going to go after here is, while it's populating, it's going to bring up basically a ton of different keyword ideas for us. While I let that populate, we'll come back in a second. Cool, so it's finished here. It's given us a really interesting little piece here. Limited keyword suggestions found for your seed keywords. Try shortening your search terms or use more common phrases. So let's just type in courses, online courses, and a few other phrases. I've got courses, e-learning, selling courses, stuff like that. I'm going to click retrieve again, and it's going to populate a few more ideas for us. So let's give it a second. So what we've got here is now 126 keywords. It says 50 shown, so I'm actually going to bump this up to 100. And we've got a bunch of different ideas here. So we've got the actual keyword itself. Now remember, this is Longtail Pro, but a lot of tools have kind of similar attributes, but if you want to check this out, I've got a link to it down below. So first we've got the actual keyword, and if I click on that, what it'll do is it will kind of deep dive into like what's ranking for it, as well as whether I could go for it. It'll give me a rough idea of the keyword competitiveness. It says that that particular one is around 38. That's for their algorithm. I wouldn't focus exclusively on the competition, but it can be quite useful. However, we want our sweet spot's between 35 and 42, so it's within the sweet spot just about. And then it says roughly got 880 monthly search volumes, whereas if we come backwards here, we might be able to find some slightly better ones. We then have, like they say, keyword competitiveness. It's a number from 0 to 100. This is arbitrary because it's not arbitrary, but every single keyword research tool will have a slightly different ranking scale. Some of them have like A, B, C, D, E. Some of them have 0 to 100. Some of them are 0 to 10. What you're looking for more than anything is the traffic light system. As a rule, the less competitive it is, the better it is for you to go after, but that also might result in less traffic. So we can see here that we've got some here in the yellow range, 38, 40. We've got 30, 31, 27, which is kind of interesting, best-selling online courses. Now, whether you want to rank for something like this is up to you, and this is the part that I said is bad news. It might be an idea to try and go after something like that and see if you can go after keywords like best-selling courses, best-selling online courses, how to create a best-selling course, best-selling online courses, how to create online best-selling courses, that kind of stuff. And if you start seeing conversions and lead generating through those keywords, great, then go after it. It might be, however, that those are people looking for like affiliate sales, or those are people who are looking to buy a course themselves. Next up, we have volume. So this is roughly the search volume. Again, it's not perfect because they can never fully know that. They have a pretty good guess, and you're going to want to go for, obviously, you know, the higher the better. In an ideal world, you find something with a really low competitiveness and a really high search volume, but that's why you have to find more and more kind of niche long tail keywords. Bidding, words, rank value, I wouldn't worry about them too much. That's like how much you probably have to bid on it to rank for a word like that. And then we have language and location, which you can change up the top here if you're ranking in different countries. I've just gone for the United States for the time being. So as we can see here, something like this, sell online courses from your own website. That's 260 people search for that per month roughly. And in terms of keyword competitiveness, it's about 24. However, the bid value is really high. You could create 5 or 6 pieces of really killer content based around that keyword for sell online courses from your own website. What I want to do here is, for this particular one, I'm actually going to tick that like that, and that means that that's now kind of like saved if it's something that I want to go after, because we'll come back to it in terms of our rank tracker later. Launch an online course, although only 30 people search for that per month. This is why it's so important. If you were to create content saying this is the ultimate step-by-step guide on how to launch an online course, yes, only 30 people a month are searching for it. It's probably a little bit higher than that because this is only the US, but if you were to create something like that, you will be extremely useful for people who search for that exact term. When I first started going after how to sell marketing funnels, people were like, are people even searching for that? And you're right, it's a very low number of people searching for it. It's increasing though rapidly. It's increasing every single day. We see more and more people not only visit the site, but more people searching for how to sell marketing funnels, how do I price a marketing funnel, how do I sell a marketing funnel, how do I start a marketing funnel business, that kind of stuff. But if you can start going after this stuff now, you become so extremely valuable to the few people who are searching for it. You're instantly an authority. So that's why I like this method. So I'm actually going to put that in here. Udemy best-selling courses, kind of 10, fine. I'm not really too worried about that. We've got e-learning companies, which is really interesting. I might actually kind of select that. What I can also do then is rank by, I close that down, rank by volume as well. And you can export this as well. So if you want to view this in a CSV file or something, this is another way that I like to go through this, because I'll go via the volume and see if an easy one pops up. So online Spanish courses, it's quite an easy one to target, and there's in the US alone 3,600 people search for that per month, 2,400 online electrical courses. So you're beginning to find niches as well for the keywords that you can go after. And what I can do with Longtail Keyword Pro is I can then get 20 more suggestions for this particular keyword. Now this is quite a long tail keyword, so I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't come up with anything, but we'll click it anyway and see what it comes up with. Just let that populate there. We've had a few other things come up here, but as you kind of generate ideas from long tail keywords, they become kind of further and further away, so I wouldn't worry about those too much. So I now want to look at the rank tracker. This is the last piece about Longtail Pro, and also kind of how to go after your long tail keywords and give you some real life examples. So I've got my little selection here, and I'm just going to come through and copy these, come into my, I've already pasted it in, but just paste it in. There we go. And I'm going to select the actual keywords themselves. Now, bearing in mind, the rank tracking won't look good on this particular project because I don't try and rank for this, but I will show you what I try to rank for. I'm going to throw the keywords in there. I'm going to enter my domain. Say it's in the United States, yeah, fine. Add, and what this is going to do is populate it, and it'll take a little while, but I want to show you the types of rankings and trackings that you can get. So for this particular one, yeah, I don't rank for any of these, which is fine, and I don't expect to because I don't try to rank for this. However, if we look at Sell Your Service, the top 20 keywords that I try to rank for are things like how to sell a marketing funnel, how to sell email marketing. I'm slowly going through these long tail keywords, and you can see that we have some rankings for like how much should I charge for a marketing funnel, how much to charge for a marketing funnel, how much should I charge for a marketing funnel, how much to price for a marketing funnel. And there's loads of opportunities here for the keywords that I've gone after that I'm not ranking particularly highly for. So how to write an email marketing strategy, where ranking was at 15th last week, and we're not ranking at all for it at the moment. We've dropped off. How to sell social media, 24, but it's dropped off again. However, selling email marketing is slowly climbing. What this does is it kind of clumps together to say, look, we have 9 keywords that are ranked 1 to 3, and I'll promise you that these are ones that we're also driving traffic from as well. So this is a really important way to then be able to test and measure the keywords that you're using. I then use something like Orabi to measure my conversions later down the road, but in terms of email ranking and long tail keyword research, Longtail Pro is probably the most valuable tool that I've come across, but also ranking for long tail keywords is one of the most valuable tactics that I've ever used for driving traffic to my website for free. So in the meantime, guys, if you have a long tail keyword or series of keywords that you want to go after, let me know in the comments down below. As I mentioned, I have actually got a link to Longtail Pro, the tool, down below. It's an epic piece of kit. I really love using it. I use it all the time, and it just so happens that this is the tool that I use as well. So in the meantime, if you are using a tool like this for your keyword research, let me know what you try to rank for in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, if you haven't downloaded my proposals template, you can head to sellyourservice.co.uk/proposal, and that'll give you a free proposal template. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I've probably got a video here on like how to sell SEO. It's probably come up to the side here over my head maybe, and you can go ahead and watch that. But in the meantime, I will speak to you on the next video, and have courage, commit, and take action.